That's it. Today's Wednesday, May 27th. Just a bunch of both clean and jerk work. Very similar to last week. This week I had some regular jerks in there. Um, yeah. So just bad foot and then good foot. 6 sets of two or 6 sets of 1+1, and then 6 sets of 2, just regular jerk. Last week I did 10 sets of bad foot, good foot, EMOMs up to 155. I ended my bad foot, good foot today at 155. Oh, sorry, 165. And then from there, I just transitioned to doing good foot, to like 185 or something. This one didn't feel as good as last week. Like last week, it honestly felt like there was almost no sign that I was ever injured, and today it felt like it wasn't tight. It wasn't like particularly sore, but I imagine if you had like a giant rubber band and then it got really dry and started cracking. That's what I imagine it feels like. If you can picture that, that's how it felt. Um, yeah, they don't look too bad. Like at least the speed is there. Positions are a little off, but again, like it's meant to be it's meant to be like that because it's a bad foot and then good foot. Like that looks so strange. For reference, the problem is on my right hip, right? So whenever I go to do a normal split jerk with my left foot forward, my right hip gets put into extension, like extension extremely fast and um, kind of forcefully. And so if I am not as quick as I used to be, it's because of that. It's not because I'm unfamiliar with the movement. It's because I feel uncomfortable pushing through with my hip here. These weights are not challenging at all. Steve was saying to kind of keep these as more of a warm-ups for the cleans and stuff, cleans and pulls, because these are not the forefront of my training right now. Like I could easily power jerk 185 for 5, like these are just split jerks, which theoretically I should be better at, and I'm only doing 2. All that being said, I've been experiencing some wrist issues on my left wrist. I want to say it's because of the floor presses that I've been doing and the way I unrack them off of the box. But I've actually been super careful with how I deal with those, and it's been kind of only hitting my right wrist, and my right wrist is completely fine. So I'm starting to think it's something maybe dealing with the fact that I have my watch on my left wrist. I know that sounds a little dumb, but my watch isn't perfectly loose, so it will naturally impact the way my wrist articulates. So yeah, it's something to think about. So today I did 3 sets or 10 sets of power clean plus hand clean, and then 5 top sets at 210. Last week I did the same set and rep scheme, but I ended up my top set at 200. These didn't feel as good as I was hoping they would, but um, overall I'm pretty happy with how it went. It didn't like destroy my hip. That's the thing I've been kind of worried about. One thing I probably need to think about more is how I'm executing the hang clean. So sometimes when I get down into the hang, I'm so focused on keeping my upper back tight. This is the first top set, by the way. I'm so focused on keeping my upper back tight that I sit on my heels when I lean forward. So what that causes me to do is kind of pushes my hips backwards a little at the bottom, and then that forces me to catch, or it forces me to bring my hips back forward and then catch a little awkwardly with my hips under the bar, whereas it should kind of be slightly behind, so I can just drop into the squat just like that. I think one thing that is kind of apparent is if I don't go to the bottom of the squat, it doesn't hurt. So if I just do like, if I catch it and then I go down to like a parallel squat, or even below that, but not quite at the end range of motion, like that is, then I don't feel anything, like anything at all. And here's my final set. Got a lot of height on that bar, but that catch was kind of strange. And you saw here that my hips had to come back forward to meet the bar, and then it's kind of disjointed. So yeah, after that I moved into some clean deadlifts. The stuff for today was just 3 sets of 3 at 275. Last week I think it was sets of 5, or it might have been sets of 3 as well. And they were just kind of feeling it out, so I went up to 265 last week. These were not particularly hard. I am pretty relieved that these don't quite hurt my hips like I would have thought a few weeks ago before I started really like lifting. Here's the last set. I think kind of in line with what I said earlier about keeping my foot pressure, mid foot to a little bit in the front foot. I think it's really important to keep a flat foot from the floor, but it's worse to go flat foot on the heel than slightly off, in my opinion. Well, it depends on how heavy you're going. If you're going like at 100%, then it will probably be better to be on your heels a little bit more than having your heels off the ground. But yeah. So I moved into some barbell bent over rows just to work up to a set of 5. At this point in the workout, I was dying, just very, very, very tired. Wednesdays are my long days at school, so that was a thing. And so I do work up to a set of 5. So I went to 185 just like last week, and then I did 2 sets of 20 of at 50% of my top set. So the top set's 185. So this is 95, which is not quite half, but close enough. And then I finished off with some dumbbell overhead walks at around 70 pounds. This is the heaviest I've done since being home, and it felt fine, to be honest. I didn't feel anything particularly too difficult like I did a few weeks ago when I came home. I thought being out on this little area with the wind would affect me a lot more than that today, but it turned out okay. And that'll be it for today. Thank you for watching. Shoots.